Ilhan Alkan, born in 1958 in a small village in eastern Anatolia, grew up in Istanbul, where he also began his apprenticeship as a shoemaker at the age of 11. At the age of 21, in 1979, he came to Berlin-Kreuzberg with his pregnant wife and found employment as a shoemaker in the American Sector Clayallee at the corner of Saargemünder Straße. It was the US armed forces and their relatives for whom he, like many of his compatriots, worked exclusively. Thus, he became one of 250,000 so-called local nationals who were employed directly by the Western Allies between 1945 and 1994. And it was also a not-so-small community of Turkish origin who worked for the Allies in the kitchen, in the laundry, or even in the shoemaker's workshop. Hotly sought-after jobs, like, as Ilhan Alkan says, "We lived in Berlin, but we worked in America." He reacted quickly to the loss of his job as a result of the American withdrawal, with part of the inventory of the shoemaker workshop, which he had to be vacated by September 30 in 1994, he reopened his own store 3 days later, even on October 3rd, in Kochstraße at, how could it be otherwise, Checkpoint Charlie. Mr. Alkan, the 3rd of October was a Wednesday. With the entry of the German Democratic Republic to the Federal Republic of Germany, the reunification was formally completed. How did your working life change from the 2nd to the 4th of October, over the holiday? You certainly got to talk a lot with your American customers. Did you notice any changes in this business after reunification?
Also als Geschäft hat viele geändert, aber wir haben
Not much changed in the business, but later we lost our jobs. Our job with the Allies was like our home. When the Allies went back, we became unemployed. We thought we had lost our house, our apartment. We're homeless now, we thought. Many of us cried. It was a bad time. I was still young, I got all the machines for 10% off, and I thought, go ahead, try it, you have to earn your bread. And then I rented the store right away in Kochstraße.
ganze Maschine habe ich schon mit 10% bekommen.
What was your relationship with the Americans like during your time there as a shoemaker?
Also wir sind ich bin wie kann ich ihm sagen, also ich bin sehr zufrieden gewesen mit denen.
I've been very happy with the people. We got along very, very well. For example, I did not know any English, German only a little. But I'm a democratic person and I have always had good contact with the people. I had no problems at all with the people. Every week we celebrated birthdays. Twice. Party, you can also say found a reason to party. That was a very nice time. We had a barbecue every Friday. We ate, we drank. It had been very good and very nice. Of course, when I lost that job, not only for me but for many people, a very sad life started.
What did your circle of friends or family say about your working for the Americans?
Ich bin als Familienangehöriger nach Deutschland gekommen.
I came to Germany as a family member. Whoever came to Germany to Berlin was supposed to wait 8 years and only then get work in Germany. But I'd known that if you found work with the Allies, then you were officially allowed to work right away. My wife worked at AEG Telefunken, Zickinger Straße in Reinickendorf, that is. Every morning I got up with my wife, took her to work and drove to the Oskar-Elenaheim subway station to the American Employment Office. Every day. That's how they got to know me. They all knew me. When I got there, they looked at me and shook their heads. No work, no work. Then one day a lady called me. Come, come. I went over. Good morning. I didn't know any German. She asked me, profession? I understood that. Profession? I said, shoemaker. Papers at home. She, bring papers. I, when? She, tomorrow. I got my first job with the Americans after 8 months. The whole store belonged to one man. I was the only one who had already found a job after 8 months. Everybody was amazed. All those who sat in the coffee and played cards, they had never noticed me, but when I got a job, they did the same as I did. Went there every day. But at first, they were not lucky either, like I was at the beginning. That time had been a very nice time for me.
With your Turkish citizenship, you were able to move to East Berlin without any complications. Did you go there often? With family, friends, or alone?
No, I wasn't interested at all. I wasn't interested at all.
Why?
I don't know. In the West, I was very happy. I had everything. I thought it was nonsense. Go to the East to dance, go to the ballroom, stay there for 2 days, come home again. I was a very married man, and people didn't accept that. If you are married, went to the East to spend a weekend, they think something different, don't they? A lot of people went over there because of the women to party, eat, drink, change 30 marks, a lot of money there. That's why I didn't do anything like that. In the western part, I had enough German acquaintances. I mostly had German neighbors, so my wife and I were not interested in such things at all. When I had time, I always went to the Rheingau to visit my aunt and her husband.
How did you experience the fall of the wall and reunification? Which personal wishes and expectations did you have at that time for the future relationship between Berlin and America?
Ich war noch nicht in Amerika, aber ich lebe hier im Westteil, Deutschen.
Well, I haven't been to America yet. I live here in the western part. I expected a lot from the people in the eastern part when the wall was gone. I thought they lived in the regime of socialism. They must be different people, educated people. They must be against racism, I thought. Everyone must have a profession. They must be smarter than we are, because I've also read about communism and also about socialism, not lived it, but read it. That's why you expect a lot. But when the wall was gone, people came with a beer bottle in their hand. We were all shocked. Many Germans thought, oh, now a lot of young people are coming from over there, a lot of workers for us. We don't need any more foreigners now. They also had a nice dream, but the people quickly destroyed the dream. They have their own clan, they were not open to the other people. If a person became a boss somewhere, it was a dismissal for the Westerners and he took Easterners. We had forgotten the xenophobia. Now it was the Germans against the Germans, Ossis against Wessis.
Please tell us the story behind the selected photography.
This is from 1994. It's Mr. Yates. I loved fixing his shoes. His wife's shoes too, and his grandchildren's shoes. When I fixed the shoes, I always got a nice cheesecake from the lady. It was the best cheesecake I ever had. It was through her that I learned about cheesecake in the first place. Whenever I go out for a cake now, I order cheesecake. But it's never as good as the one the lady baked. When they went back, they had written me letters 2-3 times, sent messages, but not anymore. We lost that contact. But in the time I worked there, the people were very nice. We have had, you can say, good relations.
Schön. Herzlichen Dank, Herr Alkan,
Danke,
für dieses
kein
Gespräch.
Problem.